Yo, what up? What up? Not sure if y'all could see me yet. I'm gonna just try to refresh and make sure this is all visible real quick before I dive into this. All right, cool. There we go. All right, so yeah, I wanted to show y'all basically how I went plug-in crazy this weekend. You see, these are all the plugins I ended up picking over the weekend. I got this joint called Kickbox, $1. I got this joint called Instacord. This is more like $4 or $5, something like that. And then I got this companion plugin called Insta Scale, and for like $5. So altogether it's like $9.90 for both of those. I got this one called Nebula, $1. I got this one called Ravage. This one's free. Hold on, I think the homie who likes to watch the streams is giving me a call. I'm gonna pick this up real quick. Sorry about that. You know what I'm saying? The homie, he likes to watch the stream, so I just wanted to make sure he was watching. But anyway, yeah. So I got all these plugins, right? I'll pull them back up one more time. But these, I got Neutron Elements. This is like a mixing. It's like a channel strip kind of plugin. I got this one for free just for buying some stuff on Plugin Boutique. This one called Ravage, it's more of like a distortion unit. This is also free. Right now, you don't even have to buy nothing. You could get this one just for free. I use this on the bass. And then I got this one called Nebula for $1. It's like a multi effect. It's like delay, chorus, flanger, filter, and all that stuff can be modulated with LFOs. So that's pretty dope. So I got that one. Here's another one that's just free anyway. I got this vocal doubler, and I used it on the snare. And I know it's not a snare's not a vocal, but it came out pretty dope. So definitely get it and use it on stuff other than vocals, but use it on vocals too. That's it as far as like the ones I bought. Well, I also bought. If I didn't mention this already, I bought Instacord and Instascale. All right, so I used Instacord to come up with this little part right here. And basically all that is that's just that's Alchemy. That's the default patch of Alchemy put onto the synth pad. All right, and then Instacord is just basically playing some chords on it. So I'll play that one more time. And also another thing I did, I went in, I tweaked it a little bit because on the actual Alchemy patch, I turned up the arpeggiator right on the Alchemy itself. So that's what's kind of making it cycle through those notes. All right, and then I took those same chords and I put them on another patch. And this one is more of like a flute kind of sounding thing. I'm gonna solo it out real quick. Oh, and let me not forget too on that first sound I was playing. The reason it sounds so detuned like that is because I use this free plugin called Isotope Vinyl. So that's completely free. You can either go to the Isotope website or you can find the link for it through Plugin Boutique, I think, anyway. But yeah, I use that to detune the pianos. All right, and then next thing I added was the bass. So the bass is where I use that Ravage, just put a little distortion on it, brings it out in the mix a lot. Next thing is this lead sound that comes in during the hook. So I'm gonna go ahead and solo this out and play it for you. So to make this sound, I use this free virtual instrument called Tyrell N6, made by UHE. It's totally free. So check this one out. And yeah, that's how I made that lead. Of course, I put a lot of effects on it. I filtered out the low frequencies. I filtered out the high frequencies. I put this nebula on here to like give it a little delay, and some compression. So that's the lead. And then next onto the drums. So here's my kick drum. Here, let me solo it out. Sorry. So as far as processing on the kick drum, I just have the kick box. Again, it's one of the ones I bought over the weekend. That was $1. And then Neutron. On the Neutron, I didn't actually compress or equalize anything, so I know those are turned on, but they're not really doing nothing. But what I did do is go to the transient shaper and just put a small increase on the transient to make the kick drum hit harder. All right, and then snare. So you see on the snare, I just had the snare hit where it would normally hit, and then I added like a couple of ghost notes right here before the second snare, and then some triplets before the fourth snare in the pattern. And as far as processing, I did put a little bit of reverb on that snare, so I'm just sending that to a bus. So I've got my reverb sitting on bus 1, and I'm filtering out the high frequencies, and transient shaper again here. So brought up the transients like just a little bit under 1 dB. And also on the snare, I put a vocal doubler. So I know that's kind of weird, but it actually made the snare sound a lot thicker to me. Here, I don't know if y'all can hear this, but that's without it. And to me, it just made it a little more fuller with the vocal doubler plug-in on it. Next thing I did was hi-hats. So there's 2 sets of hi-hats. This one is kind of more sparse. I filtered out the high frequencies, and I put an Effectrix on there to kind of give it that kind of like reverse sound that you hear on it. All right, and then the second set of hi-hats, these are kind of just regular hi-hats. I didn't really do much processing wise other than I filtered out the high frequencies, because here's how it sounds without that. It's just it bites too much. So to just kind of make it sit in the mix well, I took out those high frequencies. All right, the next sound we got in here is it's an open hi-hat, but I've got some effects on here as well. Effectrix kind of like giving it a gate effect. I'll play it. So yep, just a gate, just to kind of fill out the drums a little bit more. Shakers. So for the shakers, I used another free plugin. Well, it's not really a free plugin, but it's a contact instrument. It's a free contact instrument. So if you have a Contact 6 or a Contact 6 player, which is the free one, you can download this from In Session Audio Fruit Shaker. I use that for the shakers. Last but not least, I got a snare fill that kind of brings us from one section to another section. And this is just a loop I think I already had on my computer somewhere, but I brought it in through sound, or through Loop Cloud. So Loop Cloud matched the tempo or the beat and all that stuff and made that easy. So we got that in there. And what you'll see on the snare fill is that it actually does filter up as it plays. So watch this right here. So that's kind of why you can hear more top end on the snare as it goes along. So that's basically it. As far as mixing goes, before I talk about mixing, let me see if y'all even watching here. If I got any people watching, if you're there, say something in the chat. But yeah. So that's basically it. I mixed it. Of course, I lost my window. Sorry. I mixed it just to kind of basically explain my mixing. You see the kick actually has the top priority as far as volume. This is my kick. So the kick is louder than anything else. Next to that, we got the snare. And it just kind of descends in volume as the drums go along. So I just kind of, made sure that the drums, I always put an emphasis on the drums and kind of make sure the kick is my loudest element. That's just my mixing preference, especially for the genre I like to work in. And kind of same with the instruments. I mean, all the instruments you see are really low in the mix, volume wise. I'm going to go ahead and play this all together real quick.
Boy Genius Entertainment. Boy Genius Entertainment.
So yeah, that's it all together. Like I said, man, like I think this beat came out fire, and all these new plugins I used made it sound really great, cohesive, and didn't spend a lot at all. I spent like $7 to get all this stuff. The real price was like $12, but I got a $5 credit because I shop at Plugin Boutique a lot. So yeah, I just think it was fire. If you think the beat was fire too, make sure you hit like. Please make sure to subscribe. We're dropping new beats every week, and I try to like go live sometimes and give like mixing tips and stuff like that. So like hit me up if you want any of that. And yeah, happy holidays to you. God bless. Let me see if anyone's in the chat real quick before I close out. I want to see if anyone's in the chat. Nah, okay. But yeah, I really appreciate you checking it out. We'll be coming with more beats, of course, and God bless.